So we are back on the Chosen Life podcast. Ballin Realtors, you guys are so generous with your time, but people love you on social media. They want to hear more and more and more about how to live life. So you guys have graciously given your time. Hove, Seb, welcome back.
Thanks, man.
I'm Jonathan A. Cohen, author Bible 3.0. I know you're nearing the end of this book. We're going to be talking about this very soon, my friend.
For sure.
6 Commandments of the Chosen Life and how we're going to live our chosen life and build those life systems. So as part of our discussion, a couple weeks back, a topic came to me that I wanted to discuss further. And it's something I feel like in our world today is kind of lacking, and that's friendship. You know, it's funny. We have all these relationships out there, and we got these priorities and obligations for family, and we have our clients and our work people and our work colleagues. But it feels like the art of friendship is slowly dying. Like, I don't get it. And I can kind of trace it back. I think a lot of people have been struggling when we went into the virtual world and we went through COVID, and a lot of people weren't meeting in person. Now I'm starting to see those meetings are back, a lot of them, and you have seminars and conferences, etc. But there's still a lot of people that are off working virtually on their own. And I think they're missing out on a lot of experience as far as the opportunity to build friendships and connections. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
Please.
Yeah.
I'll let you answer for yourself to start.
Thank you.
And then I'll help you fill in the blanks.
So the question: why are people having less friendships?
Or do you find that it's harder for people to have friendships, keep friendships? Is it feel like we're very much more isolated today than where we were, let's say, 20, 30 years ago?
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, like you said, once we went into the virtual world, you know, people got used to that. It became the norm. And but I still think, like, I don't necessarily agree that people don't seek friendships or have a hard time with friendships.
Yeah.
I just think that, you know, it simplified things by kind of just staying at home, and whether it's Zoom calls, whether it's less face-to-face interaction, so people were used to texting or phone calls. But I mean, I don't know if I'd agree that there's less friendships or less people seeking friendships. We're friends.
It's true, but we did that in person.
Yeah.
You guys knew each other through person. We met in person before all of that.
I met him virtually on some strange website. I'm not going to talk about that right now.
Okay, that's all right.
I think life is just busy. I think pre-COVID, post-COVID, life is just busy. Like, I look at my friendships, and do I have less friends? No, but friendships evolve, right? When you're young, you have all the time in the world. And as you grow a family and work and career, all that, you have less time. But there's people the friends that I talk to maybe every 4, 5, 6 months, but every time we talk, it's like things pick up where they left off. Even before we started working together, we used to go months without talking to each other. But when we did, it's like nothing ever happened. But it's not because we didn't want to see each other, because he was busy, I was busy. That's life. I think people have gotten, maybe to your point, people have gotten a little more socially awkward, right? Especially when with new people, not necessarily old friendships, but with new people. No, but like since COVID, I'm talking, or since the lockdown, whatever you want to call it.
Even before that. Listen, man.
Please.
You know what it has to do with? It has to do with, and this is my opinion, and if somebody doesn't agree, I couldn't care less, but this is the reality.
Well, I'm sure they'll tell you too. Don't worry.
People are lazier. People have less integrity. People are not as confident in themselves. People are not comfortable in their own skins.
But that's since the lockdown or always?
No,
this is the history of time.
This is society evolving.
Oh, okay.
Okay, this is society evolving. This is before the lockdown. Like the past 10 years, like the city has changed like crazy. Okay, the way people act, the way people talk, the way people think. Okay, and listen, I'm not saying this in a negative way, but everybody talks about my mental state and all that. Okay, cool. Like I get that, right? But now everybody has become so selfish. Oh, it's me. I've had this conversation with people. If you have a friend, okay, he's my friend, I'm his friend, we are friends. I respect you at your level of friendship. And if I want you to be my friend, I gotta abide by your standards. Same goes for me, right? Like if you want to be my friend, you got to abide by my standards.
Yeah, well, yes and no.
I
What do
never
you mean
got.
yes and no.
I mean,
Of
there's
course.
always some type of compromise.
Okay, sure, there's got to be a compromise, but at the end of the day, if I expect a certain level of something in a friendship, and if you can't meet it, okay, cool, then you don't respect
You know,
me.
you never gave me that list of criteria. I'm still waiting for it.
He basically wants to duplicate himself.
No, I don't want to duplicate myself.
Actually, no, you're
Not
right,
at all.
because you would never be friends
no.
with yourself. He would never
Would
be
you be friends with yourself?
He would never.
Yeah, I would.
No, he would never be
the,
friends
the
with
thing
himself.
is, okay, like I got buddies that, you know, they want to talk regularly. They call you regularly.
Yeah.
I'm not that type of guy, but I can be if you want me to be. You want to call, you want to talk, cool. We can call, we can talk. Don't drag out a phone conversation.
You're a lot better at it than I am.
Yeah, because I respect people and for what they want. If you want to be friends with somebody, you got to give them a little bit of what they want.
That's what I just said.
Yeah.
So there's some,
Well, yeah,
there's some
but
compromise.
right?
There.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Right. So, but now this is the thing. As the past 10 years, I've noticed people become more and more selfish, and they use that. Oh, it's all about me, me, me. Yeah, but if you
Why?
want,
Why do you think that is?
because people are getting weaker, people are getting softer, people are
Because
complaining
of social?
more.
Because of
No, it's just life is getting easier. So everybody wants everything to get easier. But by easier, it's more convenient. It's not getting easier. Life is becoming a little bit more convenient. There's more cars, there's more gas stations, everything's more accessible. You have different this, you have different that. It's easier to get food. There's more grocery stores. You live in a building, you don't need a car. Before you had to be downtown. Now you don't need to be downtown.
So you're saying because life has gotten easier, people are getting lazier.
People are getting lazier,
Yeah.
and therefore the stress that people put on themselves to be a better person or to be a good person.
Yes.
Back in the day, you had to have integrity. If you talked shit back in the day, okay,
There was
it
consequences.
was frowned
Yeah.
upon.
Right.
Okay, when I was in high school, snitches get stitches, ha ha ha, he. But that was a real thing.
Now,
right?
now you're allowed to express however you want.
Now you could say
Yeah.
anything,
Yeah.
you could do anything, you could screw this guy, you could screw that guy. Nobody cares. Everybody, you could be a scumbag. Being a scumbag has almost become the norm. Okay, you help. Listen, anywhere I go, I try to help people out just for the sake of helping. Everybody says to me, "Oh, like even at the gym, I'll go to the gym. Like people will talk to me. I'll give them some time. I don't want to talk to you. I just want to work out. My workout's more important to me than you are. My workout is a better workout than what you're doing. I'm getting better results, and still, and I don't say that negatively, but that's the reality. But still, somebody will talk. I'll talk to them. I'll give them some tips. But like, don't interrupt me too much. Don't ask the same question 3 times.
But they don't have those social skills at the end of the day.
But then they say to me, wow, thank you for helping me. No one ever talks to me when I ask them questions at the gym, right? But like, what happened to common courtesy? What happened to decency? It's not expected anymore. The norm is no longer that you should be
norm
a
is
good,
changing.
you shouldn't be a good human being. Being a good human being is no longer the norm. It's a rarity. Wow. Well, when did that happen? You know what I mean?
Look, the 3 of us have a dinner scheduled next week. Actually, 4 of us, because I'm bringing my son as well.
Yeah.
And I told you, why do I bring my son? I've been bringing him since he was born, literally. And every time I have a business dinner, even with my friends, and that's what my parents did with me, because I was taught when I was a youngster growing up, you come, you see how people interact, don't speak until spoken to, and learn by watching, and that's where, and I don't shelter him from that.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of parents, as the generations have gone along, they're saying, I had it so hard, so I want to make it much easier on my kid. And they tell the kid, hey, I'm going for dinner. Why don't you come? Nah. Okay, play your video games. And they're sitting there playing video games by themselves versus coming out, interacting with folk. And the only way you're going to learn is through those interactions. I read an article that really, really stuck with me a few months ago. And it talked about the need to be able to go out at least once a week and interact with people, not business-like, just being social. And it's something that I've been doing steadily since I joined Kormans as a partner back in 2015. And I made myself a promise that every week, no matter what, I'm going to have coffee with somebody at breakfast, at lunch, at dinner, something. I'm going to have that social interaction. I need that, and it solidifies relationships, and it's good. And
Everybody needs it.
Yeah.
Everybody needs it. It's human nature. Everybody seeks some sort of accompaniment. If you don't, you're a hermit. That's why there's that term. And
You
there's
need that.
yeah.
Look
But-
what happened
but
when
today-
it was locked down. Everyone was seeking the socialization.
You know how many parents tell me they have 20-year-olds that are in virtual school and they don't go and they meet with their friends online when they're playing gamings,
But they're probably really unhappy.
and they're really unhappy. and they're really unhappy. And I'm sorry, but I look at my 86-year-old mom, and she doesn't leave her condo ever. And to me, that's like prison. You're not around people at all, and you don't get to have fresh air.
Yeah, man, get out, live.
Get out there, go see people. Go on Facebook. You're like, hey, buddy from high school, I haven't seen you in 30 years. Let's go grab a coffee. I think in this day and age, it'll help you in every aspect of life interacting with people.
For sure.
Period.
Yeah, for sure, man.
And as far as at the end of it, when you think about your careers, as we're summing up today's episode, if you think about your interaction with clients, for example, and you're going to show them properties and you have that interaction, how much more successful are you when you're rubbing elbows with them and being in person?
We're still old school like that. I mean, I say old school because a lot of people, for the last few years, everything's been online, but we're still old school in the sense like we would much rather meet you
in person
than do anything virtual, right? Aside from, just maybe signing paperwork virtual. We want everything in person.
Everybody,
It just solidifies everything. Plus, like, I want you to get to know me and vice versa. Maybe I don't even want to deal with you.
Yeah, when you meet somebody in person, you get a feel for their body language, right? Everybody can be brave on the internet, for example. Like, you know how it is, right?
On the phone and over email.
Yeah, on the phone, over email, on different platforms, whatever it is, all the comments and everything. Everybody.
Do you know how many times we've met people? You see them on social, and it's like one character.
Yes.
You meet them in person, and you're like, "What the? How are you so different than what you portray?" We experience that all the time.
All the time.
It's crazy to me.
And to me,
they can't talk. They can't talk in person.
People are not comfortable in their own skin.
I'll speak frankly. If somebody bumps into one of the three of us at a supermarket, this is who we are. What you see is what you get.
If anything, I'm toned down. Like in real life, I'm like it's next level. I tone it down for the camera.
Right. So I think that's where people will get to know themselves better when they surround themselves. One of the things you talked about, negative people, and those negative people bringing you down. When you surround yourself with positive people, it's amazing how much more they can bring yourself up, and you get to learn about yourself,
Yeah.
So think about that circle. I've read before that you are the 10 people you most surround yourself with.
Of course.
Maybe do some soul search and think about those 10 people you're closest to. And sometimes, and we've all been there, sometimes you got to cut bait a little bit. You say, you know what, this person's bringing me down, and allow somebody new to come into your circle. They can really expand your horizons.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
It's all about friendships, folks.
Yeah.
This has been the Chosen Life Podcast.